everyone, and welcome to Metro Matters. I'm Mary Sitt. On November 5th, voters gave Metro the green light to make traffic improvements, 500 miles of improvements. Voters passed a $3.5 billion bond referendum authorizing Metro to borrow money to implement the METROnext Moving Forward plan. Here to tell us more is Priya Zacharia, Manager of Regional and Long Range Planning. Priya, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
So tell me, what exactly is the METROnext Moving Forward plan? What does that entail?
Right, so the METROnext Moving Forward plan is a set of capital investments, transit investments in the region. So we started this process about 3 years back, and it was part of a larger visioning plan. We called it the Vision Plan, the METROnext Vision Plan. We also had numerous conversations with multiple stakeholders across the region, across multiple communities. So as an outcome of all of that, with guidance from our leadership team and from the board, we prioritized a set of projects called the METROnext Moving Forward Plan, and that is meant to be implemented over the next 20 years.
So tell me, what are some of these projects?
So as you said, it includes 500 miles overall of traffic and travel improvements. So that includes about 16 miles of light rail extensions. So those are extensions to our existing light rail corridors. We have about 75 miles of bus rapid transit, or we call it Metro Rapid.
Okay, what is bus rapid transit?
Right, bus
a
rapid.
fast bus.
It's more than that. It's actually much more than that. So bus rapid transit is a relatively new technology in the transit world, but there's a number of cities that have embraced it a whole lot in North America, in the United States, in Mexico. Even in India, we have cities with examples of bus rapid transit. So in METROnext, it gave us the opportunity to kind of explore that. It is exactly what we are doing in the Uptown corridor. That is our first line.
So the dedicated lanes for
Yes,
just those
right.
buses, right?
Yes, so a lot of people think it's just a bus, but it's, like I said, it's so much more than that. So the bus being in its own dedicated right-of-way makes a big difference to how it performs. So higher speed, more reliability, it's a much more competitive option, a travel option.
And there'll be platforms too, just like a rail platform, but
Right.
they're bus platforms.
So the experience from the customer perspective is very similar to light rail. So you get into the vehicle, the bus, the floor of the bus is at the same level as the platform. The customer experience in terms of information, the comfort factor, all of that is exactly the same as light rail. And so that really kind of brings it together into this, kind of high capacity transit investment.
And where will we see these besides at Uptown?
So in the METROnext plan, we have 5 new corridors where we have recommended that this be the technology. Of course, all of that is subject to further public engagement, a lot more design development and so on. We have recommended that in the inner Katy corridor. The University corridor, which under Metro Solutions, if you remember, was light rail in 2003, under the METROnext plan, we recommend that that be bus rapid transit. We also have it in the West Houston corridor. And a couple of other corridors, we have proposed an extension to the existing Uptown line. So there's an Uptown South proposed under METROnext that connects to Gulfton. And finally, the last but not the least by any measure is the connection to Bush IAH. It is proposed through a Metro Rapid line.
Priya, when you say like inner Katy corridor, what area are you talking about exactly?
So we are talking about that segment of I-10 West from the 610 loop to downtown. When you come to that segment of the I-10 corridor, you no longer have managed lanes or HOV lanes. Everyone is sitting in general traffic, as are our buses. All of our commuter buses that come from the I-10 corridor, from the 290 corridor, have to get funneled through this piece of infrastructure to come downtown.
So how will people pick up that bus? Do they have to have someone drop them off? You know what I'm saying? To get to that Metro Rapid bus.
Right. So this bus, if you're a customer on any of these buses, say from, for us who ride the 228 Addicts, we get on at Addicts as we always do, and we ride that same bus all the way to downtown. Right. But the trip, when it gets kind of congested, when you reach that particular piece of, inside the loop, that last leg coming downtown, you'll be in your own, our buses will be in their own dedicated right-of-way, and we'll make that express trip, that final leg of the trip coming to downtown. So the travel times are going to be so much more competitive than sitting in general traffic lanes.
So the parking ride then becomes a Metro Rapid bus?
In this case, it is a dual purpose infrastructure. So you would have commuter buses that make that trip just like we do today, but your trip is going to be much faster on that particular segment. But you also have Metro Rapid using that same piece of dedicated guideway. So for instance, if you have the Uptown line currently connecting Uptown to the Northwest Transit Center, Under METROnext, our intention is to extend that trip and provide a one-seat ride from uptown through the Northwest Transit Center, but all the way to downtown.
And one of these Metro Rapid buses will go straight to IH, which the airport, right?
Right, directly from downtown. So that is a different, it's a different corridor. It's the I-45 North corridor. And our thinking when we were thinking about projects for METROnext was, this is a corridor where one of our regional partners, the Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, is investing a significant amount of money in the North Houston Highway Improvement Project, and they're proposing max lanes. So our thinking was we should be able to leverage on a regional investment, such as what TxDOT is proposing. We have proposed using those max lanes connecting from downtown to the North Shepherd Transit Center, to Greenspoint, and to the airports.
And tell me about METROnext's plan to go to the airport, Hobby Airport.
So we have 2 light rail lines connecting from our existing corridors. So from the Purple Line and the Green Line, there was a big desire to connect to the airports, and we heard that through the public involvement process under METROnext, and I think that desire is still there. And so how we responded to that was to have both the Green and the Purple Line as light rail extensions, because we already have light rail investments in those corridors, and by extending that to Hobby, one is assured of a one-seat ride from downtown to Hobby.
What if someone says, I don't really ride Metro very much, so how does it affect me? Does it affect everybody in Houston?
It does, and that is something that the board, in their foresight and vision actually laid out very much in the beginning, that this plan should have something for everyone. In addition to, the underpinning of this plan is the 4 goals and objectives that the board laid out. Mobility, connectivity, community, and return on investment, and that threads through all of our projects. So when you provide these competitive alternatives, transit alternatives, people are compelled to take transit rather than be in a single occupancy vehicle, and that does take cars off the road. We don't promise to cure congestion for all times, but we definitely will have an impact on easing congestion. And so even if you choose to be in your car on a street, Metro is part of that, the bigger picture in that way as well.
Well, Priya, we are looking forward to the implementation of the METROnext Moving Forward plan.
Thank you, as are we all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up next, when trains and cars are on the same street level, it's absolutely vital that safety is top of mind for drivers, pedestrians, bicyclists, and riders. Coming up next, we'll tell you what Metro is doing to promote rail safety.
What happens when you have a bus that runs like rail? You get Bus Rapid Transit, service that moves you faster and is environmentally friendly. Top-of-the-line platforms next to a lane designed just for you. Vehicles that zip through intersections while others wait for the traffic light. Welcome to the Houston region Metro Rapid. Find out more about this rapid vehicle that thinks it's a rail car at metronext.org.
You gave us the green light for the METROnext Moving Forward plan.
It's Metro's plan for more daily commute options with brand new park and rides in the suburbs.
It's giving select local bus routes a boost with faster trips, improved safety lighting, and more bus shelters.
And it's designed to bring new connections to both airports, including a rail extension to Hobby and Metro Rapid service to Bush.
We're ready to move forward with the plan. Stay informed at metronext.org.
Back in 2004, when Metro launched Houston's first light rail line on Main Street in downtown Houston, the grand opening on New Year's Day was a huge, exciting event that attracted hundreds of spectators and riders. Today, Metro has 3 light rail lines: the original red line on Main Street, the green line, and the purple line. All these rail lines run at the same grade level as street traffic, and that means everyone around these trains needs to always be vigilant about safety. Here to tell us more about how Metro is implementing a 5-year plan for rail safety improvements is Ramona Crayton, manager of Metro's Transit Safety Education Program. She previously was a senior public affairs representative for 8 years and masterminded huge events, coordinating hundreds of volunteers at events including the NFL Super Bowl 51 and the Astros Championship Parade after they won the World Series in 2017. Ramona, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for asking me.
So now you're focused on safety.
Yes.
And rail safety in particular right now with this 5-year campaign. Can you tell me what it entails exactly?
Well, with that, we focus on 3 different areas. Our enforcement, which is our MPD, has increased their presence on the rail line. Our engineering, which we have currently 19 projects, are in different phases of completions, and education.
Okay, so people won't jump in front of a train, run across, or illegal left turns, that kind of thing, when they
Yes.
see the Metro Police officer out there.
We would hope that that would reduce or restrict that type of behavior, because it's about changing the perspective and the behavior of just pedestrians and as well as vehicles.
Now, tell me what you're doing as part of the education part. That's your
Well, I'm
niche.
really excited about working with the education department now. It's a brand new department focused on safety, and that we
Safety
have
education.
safety education
Right.
in particular, because Metro has always been very much aware of the need for safety education. But now that we have a dedicated department, that we'll be able to work on campaigns and initiatives that directly speak to the various rail and bus safety.
What about partnering with local organizations along the rail lines, and what is Metro doing with that?
Well, that's something that we've always had partnerships with our community stakeholders, including Central Business District, Downtown, and the Midtown Management Districts, University of Houston, both Central and Downtown, TSU. We've always had partnerships with them, and what we'll do is we'll go in and just have more of a focus on the safety education perspective of it.
How did Metro get involved with the Boy Scouts?
One of our previous employees, he was a member of the Boy Scout organization, and he's got us involved in that. They have a railroad merit badge.
Nice.
So we partner with Union Pacific in helping the Boy Scouts fulfill the requirements of meeting the criteria to get that badge.
And Ramona, there's something called welcome packets, and Metro's putting information in that too. What is that?
Well, what that is, that currently Metro has what's called apartment certification. As new tenants move in, they'll get a welcome bag. So we'll be able to put material inside of those bags.
So this is a multi-pronged approach to safety and to rail safety, right? You hit all different areas, from the Boy Scouts to new apartment dwellers to nonprofits. Also, the train has wraps. Can you tell me about some of the marketing campaigns that have gone on?
Absolutely. And as you can see, that we have our wraps of the very high visible, colorful wraps with messaging, with safety messaging on them that are eye-catching, and people are paying attention to them. And those types of initiatives we'll continue to do as we go on with more wraps on our trains and on our buses.
Metro recently received an award or a grant from Operation Lifesaver. Tell me about that.
This past July, we received a grant from Operation Lifesaver, which is a nonprofit organization that their focus is on safety in and around light rail systems, any type of railroad crossing. And the grant was for a public awareness campaign, and Metro was one of 10 properties that won this award.
So, Ramona, is there improved public perception in terms of safety? Are people acting safer now as they walk around the trains?
Yes, but it is an ongoing battle that we have. So we have to constantly have the education and make the public aware of the types of measures that we've put in place. Some of the things that we have are the signage and encouraging people to unplug.
Get those earbuds out. Quit looking at your cell phone as you cross the street, right?
Exactly, and many more in terms of our cyclists and our vehicles as well.
So everyone needs to stop, look, and listen when they're around trains.
Absolutely.
Everything we learned in kindergarten.
Yes, ma'am.
Ramona, thank you so much. That's all for this edition of Metro Matters. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, friend us on Facebook, and learn more about Metro on our website at ridemetro.org. I'm Mary Sitt. Thanks for joining us.
You gave us the green light for the METROnext Moving Forward plan.
It's a plan designed to give us more ways of getting around our region, with 500 miles of travel improvements like two-way HOV lanes,
additional light rail, and the new Metro Rapid service designed to move us faster through traffic.
The goal is to ease traffic congestion, whether you ride
Or drive. We're ready to move forward with the plan. Stay informed at metronext.org.